Sad is a former St. Louis principal pleads guilty to hiring someone to kill his pregnant mistress. In 2022, Cornelius Green was indicted for the 2016 murder of Jocelyn Peters, who prosecutors say was carrying his child.
Yep, it's true. It's true, y'all. This my principal. This the famous principal I've been talking about. Man, I got some real crazy encounters with them. I'm talking about both of them. Not just the principal, not the one who hired the hitman, with the woman too. You could say this is about 2011. This is about 2011. I'm in middle school. We going to Fanning. Whole time people don't know this. Everybody say he the principal of Carr Lane and all this and that. No, before he was the principal of Carr Lane, he was the principal at Fanning. Stop playing with me. He was the principal at Fanning. And what was he doing at Fanning? Oh, he was corrupt as a motherfucker. Not only that, I figured out he was stealing money from the school. And he got me kicked out of school. And that shit, bro, when I say that destroyed my school career, I was over with. I still don't like school to this day. I still don't like school. After seeing what he did, I'm talking about jabbing me with walkie-talkies, you hear me? You hear me? I push him though. You hear me? Get up off me. Stop playing with me. Walk around golf clubs like you hard. No. Like, tell anybody who used to be around, tell me on my line. Walk around him and Mr. Perry. Walk around golf clubs like they hard. Y'all want to know why he had that car? Because I found out he was stealing our field trip money. I'm like, damn, our field trip, I'm talking about, bro, y'all wouldn't believe how badly funded these field trip was. I'm talking about, you would think we was straight third world country. I swear to God, you would think we was a third world country. Me and I'm gonna call him Mr. Green, because you know it's easier for me to relate to the teachers especially. So look, I'm gonna call him Mr. I'm gonna call him Mr. and Mrs. because since they was my teachers, I'm gonna show respect. So Mr. Green, Mr. Cornelius Green, Mr. Hitman for hire, you know, the one that hired the Hitman, the one Hitman hire. So look, he was just always a weird character. You could tell he was a fucked up individual. But it was fucked up to the point where he lied to parents left and right. Well, like, you ever heard the saying, like, oh, your parents ever told you, why do a teacher have to lie on you? I don't know. But this man, I swear to God, right hand up to the Bible, kill me right now if I'm lying, lied so many times on me, it made no sense. I remember one time, I'm finna tell y'all, look, so in middle school, I used to like this girl. Her name was Tiara. See, Tiara, me and you was supposed to be talking, but he ended up messing that up. You know how that go. But look, I like this girl named Tiara, so I'm over here. I'm chilling. I ain't trying to get in trouble with nothing. Only altercation I had was with one dude named Joe. He was tripping though. You're like, bro, get out my face. Stop playing with me. But other than that, I ain't had no altercations. That's the only altercation I had. So from the moment he came across me, he didn't like me because I gave off alpha male energy. You ever like? I felt like if we was in the lion pride, he would have killed me because I was a fucking bound to be an alpha over him. I never went for, like, all the other kids would be scared of him. I wasn't scared of him. Like, no, I'm not finna bow down to you. He would be over there straight putting his hands on kids. You hear me smacking them in the back of the head. You hear me jabbing them in their stomach. Walkie-talkie hands, all this. Stop playing. I swear, them kids weren't lying. Them kids were not lying. But that's the crazy part, because now that we grown, all y'all older people saying, like, come on. Now everybody want to be so, oh, we need to be safe. But y'all weren't doing that when we were kids. Y'all weren't doing it back then when it was actually happening. That's what really messed me up. When it was really happening, this shit was happening. Like, this man right here, y'all, you surprised? I'm not. You're surprised? I'm not. Come on, man. You surprised? I'm not. So look, it was multiple times I'm getting suspended back to back. He's saying all bogus shit. Look, it's so bad, I don't even know what I'm getting suspended for. I can't tell y'all what I got suspended for. I can tell y'all one time what I got suspended for. And I was in ISS. He put me there, of course. Of course, he put me in ISS. He the one who put me in ISS. So I'm in ISS. I swear to God, we had an ISS teacher named Miss Franklin. Anybody who went to Fannie in 2011, 2013, y'all know Miss Franklin. I'm talking about wide booty. I'm talking about big back, wide booty. Take up 3 chairs in the desk. Like, come on, man. You gonna need come on. Everybody know Miss Franklin. So I'm in ISS and I'm laying down. I'm like, man, he got me in here for some BS that I didn't do, and I swear to God, he just hit me in my stomach like not too long ago before this shit. So I'm like, damn, nigga over here gonna hit me, then I get put in ISS. What the fuck? Like, man, fuck this shit. So yeah, I wasn't one of them kids who snitched either. So I don't want one of them. If you knew me, we can go to war. We can go to war from birth. I ain't finna tell everybody on you. I done had an altercation with males at every age of my life though because of that though. Like for real. Like elementary school, I got down there. Bro, we ain't gonna talk about that. But look, man. For real though. So I'm at ISS, chilling. Miss Franklin, I'm laying down. I'm at ISS, I'm laying down. I'm going to sleep. I'm like, fuck it. I'm finna go ahead and just finish out my day. Fuck it. So I got my head down. I heard my name to the main office. Boom, boom. To the main office. I'm like, all right. Boom. So they call my name, say, boom, come to the office. So I don't get up. So they calling me, telling me to come to the office. I'm not getting up. Why? I don't trust this man. Y'all don't understand. I'm like 11 to 12, probably 12, or going on 12, one of them at this point. And I'm like, bro, I don't trust this man. So what ended up happening was I kept my head down. I ain't picked my head up. And when that happened, the teacher got up. She came and got me. I heard she was calling my name, and I'm like, boom. Then nope, she ain't come get me. I think she just kept calling my name, and I was like, what? Then she like, you heard your name on the intercom. So I go upstairs. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I go upstairs. I go to the office. They looking at me, and they all in one big circle, and they start laughing. I'm talking about all of them. Him, Miss Peters, Mr. Perry, whoever was like the head of security, they was all in the room laughing. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me they went all deep as fuck in the room laughing. And you know what they was laughing at? As soon as I came in the room, he looked at me. Mr. Man right, look, Mr. Man right here. Hold up. I think I'm on the wrong screen. Look, Mr. Man right here. Y'all know what he did? This man look at me. This man look me dead in my face. I swear to God, right hand up to the Bible and say, damn, you walked out of ISS 10 days and then bust out laughing. Hey, look, I can laugh about it now. But back then, being young, what? Bro, what? Bro. Oh, God. And guess what happened? I got suspended for 10 days. Why? Because I walked out of ISS. Did I not get called? And then when I said call a principal, no, I was like, ask everybody down there. He stopped all the teachers from going down there and asking anybody. He stopped any communications from going through. So, man, real shit. And then, look. And then after them 10 days was up, I came back. I thought everything was gravy. I'm over here talking to old girl again. I'm thinking, cool. Boom. I get put out of school. Recommended by him. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I got to go to alternative school. Boom. Send me to the worst alternative school. I'm like, boom. Mine went blur. As soon as I hit alternative school, blur. Because it was nonstop action. There was so much going on. I remember waking up getting punched on, all type of shit. I had to go to war. I had to go to war. Stop playing. I had to go to war. Like, I remember, I used to come home with black eyes, all type of shit. People ain't used to peep though. You know, I ain't finna tell on nobody. I'm finna go to, I don't care. I don't care if you did steal off on me in my sleep. I ain't finna let nobody know about this. I got my get back every time. I was cool. But nah, that was for real though. I straight end up doing that, and then after that, it was a blur. Hit high school, boom, they still got his recommendations following me. I'm like, damn, I'll quit. I ain't going to school no more. I can't do this shit. I'm like, fuck, I got a son. Boom, boom. I already don't want to go to school no more. Like, I swear to God, it drained me. It drained me having to go through all that. Having, just knowing that motherfucker don't listen to you just because it's a person of authority. Like, come on, man. That shit drain you. But look, we finna go ahead and get into this video. I'm finna go ahead molarize myself. And look, I'm gonna put the what's called in the description. I'm gonna put his which side should I be on? I'm gonna be on this side. Be on this side.
Kill his pregnant mistress. In 2022, Cornelius Green was indicted for the 2016 murder of Jocelyn Peters, who prosecutors say was carrying his child. Jaw-dropping details don't stop there. This is what the indictment revealed. Green was married, but he had multiple relationships with multiple women.
Facts.
Jocelyn Peters and Cornelius Green were engaged at one point, and in 2015, she became pregnant with his child. Now, the indictment goes on to say that Green devised a plan to murder Peters and their unborn child. That he stole cash from the middle school, from Carr Middle School.
Hold on, my bad, y'all. Not only all this facts, not only is all this facts, and I knew about all this because it made me mad that they even got engaged when I figured it out. Because, you know, word go around the streets. But that stole money from the school part. Remember I was telling y'all about that? When I found out, that's why he wanted me out the school. I found out they was stealing money. Your car was too good. I was the one who figured that out. I asked anybody. I'm the one who figured it out. At Fannie Middle School, our field trips looked like we was going to Haiti. Like we was like straight off. Like, I'm not even talking bad. Like, but we look like refugees. Like straight real life refugees. Like fresh off war or something. There it is.
And in March of 2016, listen to this, he sent $2,500 to a guy named Philip Cutler using the school's address. Cutler accepted that money
using the school money.
Cutler is going to be standing trial for his role in the murders, his alleged role in the murders, I should say. Hasn't been convicted yet. He's just accused at this point.
Today, we're diving into a truly disturbing case that will send chills down your spine. The murder of Jocelyn Peters,
he's using the school money too, man.
St. Louis teacher who was brutally betrayed by the person she loved and trusted most, her boyfriend, Cornelius Green. What makes someone cross that dark line from love to murder? How does a seemingly normal relationship hide such a sinister secret? These are the twisted questions we're exploring in this horrifying story. Jocelyn Peters was a woman full of life, dedicated to her students and excited about the future. She was on the brink of starting a new chapter, filled with love and hope for the future. But lurking in the background was a nightmare she never saw coming. A deadly betrayal that would tear her world apart. This case isn't just another tragic story. It's a terrifying reminder of how close evil can be, hiding behind a smile, a kiss, a promise. It forces us to confront the
Even though I felt some type of way, RIP, man. I don't care, RIP, because he messed up for that.
Unsettling reality that sometimes the people we trust the most can be the ones with the darkest secrets. As we peel back the layers of this chilling case, we'll dig into what could drive someone to commit such an unspeakable act.
He was sick.
And how love can twist into something deadly. Get ready to uncover the dark underbelly of what seemed like a normal relationship and the terrifying consequences that can happen when we miss the warning signs. Jocelyn's story is a haunting example of how easily things can go from hopeful to horrifying in the blink of an eye.
Thank you. A former St. Louis middle school principal pleaded guilty to federal murder. for higher charges in the death of a teacher and her unborn child. In March of 2016, elementary school teacher Jocelyn Peters, 7 months pregnant, was found dead in her Central West End apartment. A federal grand jury indicted Cornelius Green, her boyfriend and ex-principal, in that murder for hire plot. Newly released court documents reveal Green pled guilty.
I was on like 17 at the time,
dismissing local murder charges. The deal also calls for Green to be sentenced to life in prison. Investigators say Green orchestrated the murder, enlisting the help of a childhood friend, Philip Cutler. Cutler's trial is set to begin later this month.
I was strong like 17.
New developments tonight in the murder of a pregnant middle school teacher. The man accused of being hired to kill her has decided to take his case to trial.
Jocelyn Peters was shot to death in her apartment in March of 2016. She was 27 weeks pregnant with Cornelius Green's baby at the time. He was the principal at Carr Lane Middle School, where she was a teacher, and he was married. Here's Jocelyn's mother, Lacey Peters, in 2016.
I was very shocked. I thought he was a real nice young man.
Green pleaded guilty Wednesday during what's known as a Fry hearing.
He know how to lie.
It's the last time federal prosecutors offer a deal before a trial.
He know how to
Veteran
lie.
Criminal defense attorney Joel Schwartz explains.
There's a lot of times where individuals charged with crimes frequently think, okay, that may be their first offer. It's certainly going to get better. And when they realize at the last minute that it may not be getting better, a lot of times you'll see them jump in or dump in and take that offer.
In the heart of St. Louis, a case of horrifying, cold-blooded murder unfolded, a story so chilling and heinous that it gripped the city for years. At the center of this tragedy was Cornelius Green, a once respected principal at the Carr Lane Visual and Performing Arts Middle School, who orchestrated the murder of his pregnant girlfriend, Jocelyn Peters, with the help of his childhood friend, Philip Cutler. Jocelyn Peters, a 30-year-old elementary school teacher, was known for her vibrant personality and dedication to her students. Born and raised in St. Louis, Jocelyn was a bright light in her community, a woman full of life, with an infectious smile that could warm any room. She was known for her warmth, kindness, and the genuine care she showed for others. Her students adored her, not just because she was an excellent teacher, but because she treated each of them as individuals, encouraging their growth and nurturing their talents. Jocelyn was also a deeply loving and trusting person. She believed in the goodness of others, often seeing the best in people, even when they didn't deserve it. This trust, however, would ultimately lead to her tragic demise. Jocelyn believed in love, and she believed in Cornelius Green, the man she loved and thought was divorcing his wife for her. She dreamed of a future together, a family with the child she was carrying, but she was tragically unaware of the dark secrets Cornelius was hiding.
Hey, for real.
She was truly one
that
of the
boy's
best
sick.
educators I've ever worked with in 20 years.
Jocelyn
He
held
cold
high
that line. I don't think y'all understand. That man was cold that line.
Arriving early and staying late, even on holidays and weekends. In 2014, she received a prestigious award for excellence, which was an honor for outstanding educators in the St. Louis School District. But during that time, Jocelyn met and started dating a middle school principal named Cornelius Green. Jocelyn and Cornelius met while working in the same educational environment before becoming romantically involved. Cornelius, the former principal at Carr Lane Visual and Performing Arts Middle School in St. Louis, had worked with the school district since 2002, and he held various positions as a teacher, assistant principal, and principal. Cornelius also received a lot of praise for his work and leadership in the community. But what people did not know about him was that Cornelius was allegedly a ladies' man. Although he was married with children, Jocelyn mistakenly believed that she was the only woman in Cornelius's life. She also believed that he was in the process of divorcing his wife, but unfortunately, Jocelyn was unaware that Cornelius had multiple other women, including at least one who was also duped by him into believing they were building life together.
Jocelyn and Cornelius's relationship began in the same educational environment where they both worked. Cornelius, who had been with the St. Louis School District since 2002, held various positions over the years, eventually rising to the rank of principal. He was admired for his leadership and dedication to his students, much like Jocelyn, but beneath his polished exterior, Cornelius was a manipulative man, living a double life.
Mr. Green that she is referring to is Cornelius Green, and today the former middle school principal will be arraigned in a downtown St. Louis courtroom.
Well, Corey Green plans to plead not guilty. That, according to his attorney. Now Green is being held on a $3 million cash-only bond.
He committed this crime in such a way that he would be as far away, actually physically far away on the night that the murder occurred. Unfortunately for him, there's a lot of other evidence that points to the fact that he was directly involved and that he procured
You're not smart to be a principal.
of his pregnant girlfriend.
Defendant is profoundly manipulative, and he devised this horrible plot to murder the mother of his child
He's
and
not
his own
smart to be a
child,
principal.
just to further his lifestyle.
It's important for people in the community to see that crimes like this are being investigated.
The judgment handed down could never fill in any gap. If a family member is experiencing things that you feel that are unnecessarily overwhelming just for it to be a relationship, encourage them to come out of that situation.
Cornelius had a way of making people believe in him. He was charming, articulate, and seemed to genuinely care about the students and faculty under his charge. His rise through the ranks of the school district was steady, with each promotion bringing him more respect and admiration. But Cornelius was not the man he appeared to be. Behind the scenes, he was juggling multiple relationships,
I swear to God,
each woman believing.
No cap, I swear to God. I'm finna sue St. Louis public schools because I've been telling y'all this. Get the fuck out of my face. I've been telling y'all this shit. I'm finna start suing y'all ass. Somebody, y'all gotta get me in contact because I need to sue their ass. I swear to we winning. We winning. If we got a case, we winning. Stop playing. When I tell you we winning, we winning. When I tell you we winning, we winning. We winning. Stop playing. Cause like, come on, man. Stop playing.
She was the only one in his life. Jocelyn believed she was the only woman in Cornelius's life. She thought he was in the process of divorcing his wife and that they would soon start a new life together with their unborn child. Cornelius had convinced her of this with his smooth words and promises.
Don't like dude,
he played
man.
the role of a loving partner, eager to start a new chapter with her. But in reality, Cornelius had no intention of leaving his wife. He was a master manipulator, using lies and deceit to keep Jocelyn and the other women in his life from discovering the truth. When Jocelyn announced her pregnancy, she believed it was the beginning of a beautiful new chapter. She was thrilled, despite the challenges she had faced in the past. This was her third pregnancy. She had previously miscarried, and at Cornelius's urging, got rid of another. But this time, she was determined to keep the baby. She was planning a baby shower, excitedly preparing for the arrival of her child. She dreamed of the day when she would hold her baby in her arms, imagining a future filled with love and happiness. But Cornelius had other plans.
A former St. Louis school principal is accused of paying his friend to kill his pregnant girlfriend. Cornelius Green is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder.
Last thing that I said to my daughter, she said, "I love you," and I said, "I love you too." And that was the last time I physically saw my daughter.
R.I.P.
Prosecutors say that man, Philip J. Cutler, was asked to kill a pregnant school teacher in St. Louis. They say he was paid just a couple of $1,000s to do it.
One of the biggest, most disturbing things is that Green admitted today that he sent the money to the killer in a package listing the Carr Lane Visual and Performing Arts Middle School as the return address.
This is Philip J. Cutler from Muskogee. Prosecutors say Cutler shot her in the head using a potato as a silencer.
A potato as a silencer.
Even chosen a name for her baby, Micah Lee, and they say that she was working on her baby shower invitations at the time too.
Cornelius's reaction to Jocelyn's pregnancy was far from what she expected. While she was over,
y'all better start listening to these kids out here who be saying these teachers fucked up, and y'all be over there. Why would a teacher lie? I'm a prime example. Your kid gonna turn into a fucking supervillain.
overjoyed, he was filled with dread. The pregnancy threatened to upend the carefully constructed facade he had built. He knew that if his wife or the other women in his life discovered the truth, his world would come crashing down. Cornelius valued his lifestyle, one that was free of the responsibilities that came with a child. He didn't want anything or anyone to interfere with the life he had built. Cornelius began to panic. His initial attempts to get Jocelyn to terminate the pregnancy failed. She was determined to keep the baby, and Cornelius realized that his usual manipulative tactics wouldn't work this time. Desperate, he began researching ways to secretly poison her, crushing pills to hide in her food. He scoured the internet for information on how to cause a miscarriage without arousing suspicion. But when that plan didn't work, he turned to a more direct and sinister solution. Cornelius knew he couldn't do it himself, so he turned to someone he thought he could trust. His childhood friend, Philip Cutler. Philip Cutler was a man down on his luck, desperate for cash. He had known Cornelius since they were kids. and the two had stayed in touch over the years.
Look like two basic. Look at the broke looking niggas, dirty ass niggas, grimy, lame ass niggas.
But while Cornelius had built a seemingly successful life, Philip had struggled. He was in debt, unable to hold down a steady job, and looking for a way out of his financial troubles. Cornelius saw an opportunity in Philip's desperation. He offered Philip a mere $2,500 to murder Jocelyn and their unborn child.
Niggas
Your
broke.
woman's life, the baby's life, and then you hear $2,500. What? But you've seen it, Dr. Jason. Professor Joe, I'm sure in death investigations you've heard about some motives. Have you ever heard of anything like this?
I've seen some of this.
Yes, most certainly. I've worked a couple of cases similar to this. And as far as the dollar amount goes, you're right. I mean, I don't know that you could say necessarily it's a sliding scale, but it's dependent upon what the needs are of the person and their willingness to participate in it. There's going to be some very interesting forensics in this case. I think that the perpetrator in this case.
The amount of money Cornelius offered was shockingly low, a pittance for taking 2 lives. But to Philip, who was struggling to make ends meet, it seemed like easy money.
He couldn't wait to go
knew
back
it was
to
wrong,
jail.
but the lure of quick.
He couldn't wait to go back to jail. That's why he broke already. You ain't got shit going. You ain't got nothing to look forward to look past. Nothing looking for you. Shit.
Cash was too strong.
Broke.
Cornelius made it sound simple. He would be out of town, giving Philip an alibi, and all Philip had to do was make it look like a burglary gone wrong.
Now, so we call for justice for Jocelyn Peters and her unborn baby. We're also asking the question about that money amount. Who has somebody killed for $2,500 and who accepts such a low amount?
I know somebody who do it for 50.
Let's bring back in our power panel.
People,
Dr. Jason,
you don't know what a crackhead is?
Let me start with you. Would you kick things off, please?
Sure, $2,500 may not seem like a lot to us, but out there are people willing to do anything for even less amount of money.
Way
$500,
less.
$200, $1,000. So yes, I mean, it seems like a trivial amount to a certain amount of people when it comes to death and murder and assassination, but it's just there are so many people out there willing to do an evil act for even less than that.
This is such an important discussion to have because when you think about the value of a human life, it's priceless, right? And here we've got 2 lives. We've got...
To fund this heinous act, Cornelius stole money from a school dance team's fundraiser, further betraying the trust placed in him.
I told y'all.
The 2 men discussed the plot over a series of phone calls, meticulously planning.
He stole it from a school fundraiser. I told y'all this man was grimy. But don't listen to me back in 2011. Don't listen to me in 2011.
Every detail. Cornelius sent Philip a UPS package
5
containing
years
the
before this went off.
$2,500,
Could
using the
avoided
school's
all
address
this.
as the return label. It was a brazen move, one that would later come back to haunt him. Everything was falling into place for Cornelius's plan, a plan so diabolical and cold that it's hard to fathom anyone could be capable of such cruelty.
It was just unbelievable. I just kept telling my aunt, I just was like, just pinch me so I can wake up. You know, it was just like a nightmare. It's just something that I wouldn't want any parent to go through.
On March 21st, 2016, Philip arrived in St. Louis and stayed with Cornelius and his sister. As part of the plan, Cornelius traveled to Chicago to establish an alibi, leaving Philip with the keys to his car and Jocelyn's Central West End
And then
apartment.
he used his car. Stupid.
Philip was nervous but determined. He had been promised the money, and he was ready to do whatever it took to get it. It was the night of March 24th, 2016. Jocelyn Peters was at home in her apartment, feeling a mix of exhaustion and anticipation. She had been busy all day preparing for her baby shower, carefully writing out a list of guests and thinking about the joy that her baby would soon bring into her life. Jocelyn's apartment was a place of safety and comfort, a refuge from the world. But on that night, it would become the scene of an unthinkable crime. Philip Cutler, lurking in the shadows, approached the building with cold determination. He clutched the key Cornelius had given him, the key to Jocelyn's life and to her end. His heart must have been pounding in his chest as he entered the building, the weight of his mission pressing down on him. But Philip was not a man of conscience. He had already made up his mind. He was there to kill. As Philip made his way up to Jocelyn's apartment, she was already in bed, resting after a long day. unaware of the danger creeping closer with every step Philip took. As Philip approached the door, you can't help but wonder, what was going through his mind? Did he feel any guilt, any hesitation, or was he so consumed by the need for money, so disconnected from the reality of what he was about to do, that he felt nothing at all? We may never know. But what we do know is that he turned the key in the lock, pushed open the door, and stepped inside. After entering, Philip walked through the living room, making his way to Jocelyn's room, where she lay sleeping. When Philip entered the room, he would have seen her there, peaceful, vulnerable, completely unaware of the danger. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a gun, the cold metal heavy in his hand. He had come prepared, using a potato as a makeshift silencer, an old trick he had learned somewhere along the way. He attached it to the barrel, knowing it would muffle the sound enough to avoid drawing attention.
Actually, of all things, is alleged to have used a potato as a suppressor of sound. Fascinated by that element. It's a single gunshot wound to the head, so that means that he had to have pretty close proximity to her. It'd be fascinating to think about what evidence they have found at the scene, collected. And is there a tieback,
Slumdog Millionaire City,
perhaps some type of weapon platform this individual possessed? What happened at the scene that led them to believe that this unusual methodology was applied? That'll be fascinating to listen to. And how did he get access to her? I think also is a real big dynamic in this. So this is going to play out. This is going to be one you're probably going to want to sit and watch on Court TV.
Standing over Jocelyn, he pointed the gun at her, pulling the trigger without hesitation. The bullet struck Jocelyn in the head, killing her instantly. Her life, and the life of her unborn child, ended in a moment of unimaginable cruelty. While it seems Jocelyn was unaware of her impending death, you can't help but wonder, did she wake up in those final moments? Could she have heard Philip's footsteps as he entered the apartment, only to find herself frozen in terror, unable to react before it was too late? We can only hope she never realized what was coming. As they say, ignorance is bliss. The thought of the fear she might have felt, seeing a stranger enter her home, gun in hand, while she was 21 weeks pregnant, is truly unimaginable.
It's just a heartbreaking case where
That's
two
fucked up.
defendants plotted to murder a
That's
beautiful,
fucked up. That's fucked up.
pregnant school teacher for senseless reasons.
In March, 46-year-old Philip Coulter was convicted for killing Peters on the same charges. Weeks ago, he was also sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences.
This shit make me mad.
Police say
man.
Peters was shot to death inside.
I want to keep her.
He had found it. It's hard to imagine the scene that night. Jocelyn's lifeless body on the bed, blood splattered from the gunshot that ended her life. In that moment, did Philip feel even a flicker of regret? It's almost impossible to grasp how he could commit such a horrific act for such a small amount of money. He wasn't just taking the life of one woman. He was also ending the life of her unborn child. The night outside was calm and quiet, the city unaware of the tragedy that had just occurred. Philip ran away from the apartment
I ain't trying to hurt too much.
to go to any lengths to protect his secrets. They presented the evidence of his affair with Jocelyn, the pregnancy, and his attempts to poison her. They showed the jury the phone records, the UPS package, and the...
He got life in prison. I ain't got...
Peter's spirit lives on here.
What we heard at first was enough for me, man. Hey, but if y'all want to see the rest of this video, link in the description.